What's up, Poppin T Fam? It's your host, Poppin T. Sitting there as usual, Poppin T. We're back for the first time in a while. After Ravens dub, we kind of took a little mental health break, just because the Ravens were doing us, no lube. We were getting it bad. So we took a little break, and now we're back, ready to talk about some Ravens football again. Hopefully bring some hope to the air. But let's start off with some news. Pop, what's the tea for the day, man?
Jair, our big free agent signing.
Yes, sir.
All Pro Bowl, elite corner, is on the move to the Eagles for a 6th-round pick in this year's draft. We gave up Jair and a 7th-round pick in next year's draft. I really wanted this one to work out. It hurts that it didn't. It hurts that I probably won't ever find out what went wrong with Jair in Baltimore. I guess we'll have a little bit more clarity if / when he starts playing in Philly, because it'll be like we'll kind of get to see whether he just doesn't have it anymore or whether it was a system thing, if healthy scratches are to come while he's in Philly too. So I guess we'll see how this trade ends up working out for us in the long run. But, I mean, I really wanted him to be All-Pro Jair Alexander, and we just never got it, which is a bummer.
Yeah. The one thing I'll say with this trade, I feel like the writing was kind of on the wall. I remember me and you talked back, I want to say August, maybe, when we were kind of talking about depth chart, things like that. And I just remember us talking about Jair being behind Chidobe on the depth chart. And even obviously it was like he had just got there, but it was kind of like, okay, he doesn't seem to really be in the Ravens' like initial plans for the defense. Obviously, it seemed like they were trying to work him back in. But then it was like after that Buffalo, well, one with the Chidobe not being, ahead of him. Two, the game he had against Buffalo and then the healthy scratches after that, it just was like I don't think he's ever going to see the field again type of thing. Mm-hmm. And I actually saw a tweet like 2 days before, and a guy, I don't remember who it was, but it was like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens moved off of Jair. And I was like, he kind of does have a point. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this happened. I just thought we'd get a player back, hopefully. So when I saw the news that he had got traded to Philly, I wasn't surprised at all. I have a lot of Eagles fans who texted me. It was like, we fleeced y'all. Thanks for the corner, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, y'all going to run him out of Philly like y'all want to do Keely Ringo right now. Like, the dude let Keon Coleman go for a legacy game. And Keon Coleman hasn't had over 40 yards for the rest of the season.
That's crazy.
He's basically,
I did not know that.
Week 1 and then, like, weeks 2 through 9, like, the total yards he has week 2 through 9 is basically, like, what he had week 1. So yeah, Keon absolutely hasn't done anything. It was just like that was kind of a big red flag. Like you said, I hope it worked out. I think I more hoped it worked out for Lamar's sake, to be honest. Like seeing his old teammate come back, I was like, I really hope this works out for him. Really hope he can get back to where he was. His dad was saying his knee was healthy as he's ever been, but I guess that wasn't the case.
We really don't know.
Yeah,
we really don't know.
It's been very quiet on that situation this season.
Yeah.
So, best of luck to him in Philly. Obviously, I hope he's all right. I just wish he, could have played in Baltimore. I wish we could have figured it out.
Yeah, it's frustrating because, this is a dude who I was really expecting. I don't know that I was expecting all-pro caliber. I think I was either expecting him to become more of a force later into the season, or for him to just be like a solid CB3.
Yeah.
But we really didn't get any of that.
Not at all.
And it's frustrating because we don't know if it was because of health. We don't know if it was because he just never got with the system. We don't know if it was locker room issues. It's just frustrating because we certainly could have used him the last couple months.
Definitely.
And for it to be a 6th-round pick, it's like, okay, that's like negligible. Like, you moved up a round. Like, that kind of tells me that he's not going to be worth it for any team anymore, but
Yeah.
we're going to see in a couple weeks.
Yeah, that
once the Eagles get him going.
Yeah, 6th-round pick, like you said, and then just the fact of nobody really wanted to sign him to begin with.
Yeah.
The fact that he signed, obviously he took a deal to play with Lamar, but like the fact that we were able to sign him for $4 million, I feel like kind of speaks volumes. And like you said, the 6th-round pick on top of that just kind of emphasizes that even more.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It doesn't seem like a Deontay Johnson situation where he was a cancer to the locker room because Chuck Pagano, I thought he was too old for Twitter. Let me just start with that. But I saw him tweet out the other day like a pro's pro, like we appreciate you in Baltimore, always bringing the juice, the energy to the locker room every day, even though you weren't playing. Basically something like that. So it seemed like he left on good terms. It might have been one of those, if y'all aren't going to play me, can you trade me? Type of situations, and the Ravens might have just been like, you know what, we got you. Where you want to go play, and we'll figure it out. But that's enough on 23. Don't want to give him too much time. He was only here for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Let's get into the rest of this episode, man. Going from Jair, we might as well transition into the defense. The Ravens started off slow, 1-5, with one of the best offenses in football. Lamar had the offense averaging over 30 points a game, but we still got off to a 1-5 start, or 1-3 start with Lamar. But in these last couple of weeks, the defense has picked it up. Has only allowed 29 points in the last 3 weeks. I think forced 2 turnovers against Miami, was it? Or was it 3?
I think it was 3.
Okay, so 3 turnovers versus Miami. Looked good against Chicago, looked good against the Rams. And I just want to get your thoughts on that. 1 and 2, Alohi Gilman. What difference have you seen in the defense since he's strapped up and been in the secondary?
Well, I think that. Let me start with the defense the first couple weeks. We obviously played a gauntlet through those first couple weeks. We had Josh Allen, we had Jared Goff, we had Patrick Mahomes. And these are elite quarterbacks that you're facing. And it's become so apparent that the Ravens have a D-line issue, first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the number one issue on the team. We just can't generate a pass rush. And those are the type of quarterbacks that if there's not pressure in their face, they're not going to make mistakes at all.
Not at all.
So, obviously, it just made sense that we were just getting dotted up every week because you're just watching them just sit back in the pocket the whole time. And it was just frustrating because even the guys in the second level, like Roquan and Kyle, who were making impacts in the running game, they go down pretty early in the season for a couple weeks, and it's like, okay, now we don't really have a D-line to get after the quarterback, and we don't really have the guys in the second level to come up and make plays in the run game. It was just a recipe for disaster. But the Alohi-Gilman trade, as you mentioned, kind of changed everything. We all know how good Kyle Hamilton is. I mean, that's the number one safety in the league to me. I don't even know if you can call him a safety anymore, especially after this season. I mean, that dude is not taking snaps at safety anymore since that Alohi-Gilman trade. Essentially, bringing in Alohi-Gilman allows Malachi Starks and Alohi-Gilman to play back, and it allows the Ravens to use Kyle Hamilton as that 11th defender in whatever spot they need him, whether it's at linebacker, whether it's at slot corner, whether it's on the line of scrimmage. And Kyle really just can do it all. It's kind of like how the Colts have been using Tyler Warren. It's like, okay, we've established that Tyler Warren can play tight end. We've established that Kyle Hamilton can play safety. Where else can we use him to get the most value out of him? They've got Tyler Warren lining up at fullback, at halfback, at slot, at receive, and it's the same thing with Kyle. Now Kyle, it's become so apparent that Kyle is so much better up around the line of scrimmage that he's able to cover up some of the weaknesses that I established before. I mean, when he's playing linebacker, now you have Roquan and Kyle Hamilton playing off of each other in the run game, and we've been shutting down the run the last couple weeks. And even in as a pass rusher, Kyle is so quick around the edge that, I mean, he's creating pressure where there wasn't pressure before. Kyle Hamilton has been, I mean, it's because of Alohi-Gilman that this was able to happen. And Alohi has been playing good in our defense. But it's because Alohi-Gilman allows Kyle to play everywhere else. That's the reason why the defense has had such a turnaround to me.
Definitely.
It's like a large gap between that and anything else to me.
Yeah. That Gilman trade, it's funny because like Ravens fans are kind of like, dang, like we traded Odafe, now Odafe has like 4 sacks when he had 0 with us, but it's kind of like he wasn't producing with us in our situation, and it's like obviously it sucks, what is hindsight is 2020, and seeing him turn up like this, but I think it's almost like Kyle replaced Odafe. Like Kyle was playing DN now. Like he's just, like you said, he's just everywhere. He's a Swiss Army knife where it's just like, okay, you lose a 10-sack guy, but you don't really feel it because Kyle Hamilton just makes that much of an impact everywhere else. Like you said, seeing him at linebacker, it kind of gives me like throwbacks to watching Roquan and Patrick Queen out there. Like watching two guys hit the hole at the same time, at the same speed, with that level of what's the word I'm looking for? I guess level of violence that those two play with. I felt like we were missing that for a long time.
And it's just like the speed to the ball. Like, there's no processing time for either of those players. You got Teddy Buchanan, who's a rookie, has been playing good for a rookie, but
rookie of the month. Shout out to bro.
We all know how long the linebacker position. Well, I'm saying that we know how long that linebacker position takes to develop. I mean, we've seen it with Patrick Queen in the past. It took him several years to really come into his own as a capable player. It's Trenton Simpson still hasn't figured it out. But when you have two guys that know exactly where to go when the ball is snapped, it changes everything. It's not like, because you're relying on maybe that first linebacker to blow up the block so that the other linebacker can loop around behind him. If Teddy Buchanan isn't quick enough to come blow up the block, Roquan can't loop around. It makes all the difference, really. And it's not how I want this defense to have to work. But it's working, and it seems sustainable to me.
Yeah, I kind of see this Alohi-Gilman trade as kind of like putting Flex Seal on something. Like, okay, it's getting the job done, but it's not a permanent fix. The permanent fix would be finding a linebacker that, can act. Hello? All right, there we go. My bad. It's not that Teddy can't play the position. It's just it takes time to develop and get there. So maybe, allowing him that time to sit and just kind of view what's going on. Obviously, like I said, he just won Rookie of the Month for October, but just allowing him to not have to jump into the fire, but just be able to get his feet wet. And once he's up to speed, he's ready to go, they trust in him, then we can start to move Kyle out of that linebacker position, hopefully. Because I love having him at that linebacker spot. But it's just like I don't want him to have to get like locked in, per se, to that linebacker spot because nobody else is ready to step up and play the role.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of view it as like I want Kyle to be playing up near the line of scrimmage because he can make those game-changing plays. He can make those tackles for loss in the backfield on Devon Achane. He can get quick hurries, looping in and pressuring Caleb Williams. I just don't want a dude playing out of position to be our only player, or I guess you could include Roquan too, but I don't want one of our two like game-changing players to be a dude out of position. Like, I want the Ravens to have a game-changing pass rusher that when we get to the playoffs, you can rely on him to get that clutch pressure, that clutch sack. And I don't know if that really makes sense, like, because Kyle is still making those game-changing plays, but
you don't want to have to rely on his safety to do a DN's job. Like, I don't think that's crazy to say. I think that makes perfectly sense.
But he's doing it well. But he's doing it well. That's the crazy thing.
You know, I'm with you. You'd like to, be able to know you trust that edge rusher, whoever it is. But it's just like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, I think obviously it's done and over with now because we talked about Jair trading, but like my dream scenario going into this offseason was like being able to have Nate and Jair play outside, having two playable linebackers, and then being able to play both Marlon and Kyle in the slot. Like that, like a dime defense. Well, I guess it wouldn't be two linebackers. It'd just be Roquan and, or like a big nickel or a dime with just Kyle and Marlon both in the slot, allowing them to be like, to me, that's where those two are both best at. It's in the slot, being able to play wide receiver if need be, but also being able to blitz the quarterback and be able to play the run. Because, man, Marlon plays the run like nobody else to me. Like, as a corner, like, I believe he's one of the best, like, run-defending corners. Like, he sees ball, he gets ball, he goes after it. There's no hesitation. There's no bluffing. He goes. You can send him on a blitz, even though he's, 5'9", 5'10", and he's going to get home. But football obviously doesn't work the way you want it to every time. Things don't work out. But as long as the defense is playing better, man, I don't care where 14 lines up. That's how I feel.
Yeah, no, I agree. Kind of along that same point, how I was talking about not wanting to rely on Kyle to make those big plays. Do you think we're sitting here recording this Monday, November 3rd? The trade deadline is tomorrow in roughly 23 hours. Do you think that EDC is going to go do something to get someone in there that they can rely on, whether that's defensive tackle or edge, or do you think he's going to go to the offensive ball, bring in some offensive line help? Do you think EDC is done with the trades besides Alohi, Gilman, and Jair?
Truth be told, I think he's done. I don't think he's done on purpose. I do think he's on the phone. I do think he's making calls. But I don't know if he'll be willing to pay the price on some of these guys that he's going to have to. To me, it's like I think we have 3 5ths and 2 6ths in next year's draft at this point. I would love to see him use them. I'd love to see him use them, particularly on the D-line, defensive line. I think with losing Matabike for this season, I think you have to replace that. Like bringing in Brent Urban and whoever else, like, doesn't replace a Justin Matabike. We're talking about like a top 10 defensive tackle, probably higher, and probably just being generous with that. It might be top 5, top 6 defensive tackle in football. This team is built, not this team is built, but your team is supposed to be built from the trenches back. It doesn't matter if you have Kyle Hamilton, Marlon Humphrey, Roquan Smith. We just talked about this. If you can't generate pressure, if you can't stop the run in the trench, it doesn't matter. Nothing else matters.
Especially come playoffs when you have quarterbacks that won't make mistakes.
So it's like, to me, I think our biggest issue right now is defensive tackle. I think we have to go get a D tackle now. We talked about it a little bit earlier before we started recording. I'd love to see about Quentin Williams or Jeffrey Simmons. I know Jeffrey Simmons isn't going anywhere, but those are both teams, starting to lose some games. After that, for me, it's edge rusher. And then guard, I'd say after that. I think guard is the last. Even though I want to guard the most, I think guard is the lowest on our priorities just because Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson. And I hate to use that excuse because I feel like that's what the Ravens have been doing for the last several years. But, like, we can Lamar can overcome a 77 and 72. But will that defense be able to overcome a Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, et cetera, without being able to stop the run or generate pressure? The answer is probably not. So I'd love to see that happen. I'd love to see that happen, but my money would be on no. I just made a short answer long. My answer would be no. That I don't think we make another trade before tomorrow's deadline. What about you, Pop?
I mean, I think we probably do. I just don't know if it'll be for the caliber of player that we would want. Just because of what you said about the asking price. I mean, dude, like, in the Rams' philosophy, F them picks, like,
I'm with
they'll
you.
give up our first-round pick for a Dexter Lawrence or a Jeffrey Simmons or a Quinnen Williams. Like, I mean, we're seeing now, like, granted, not all first-round picks play the same, but, like, Malachi Starks has struggled early. I mean, he made a big play against Miami last week. But, like, they're never going to be the impact right away that one of those players could be for this season, like, and beyond. And beyond, really. I mean, those are all three paid dudes. I don't know how we would make it work with the salary cap. But we just cleared up a bunch of space moving Dafe and Jair. So, I mean, if you can go get Quinnen Williams for a second or a first even, like, go do it. Like,
yeah. Especially it's like when it's Super Bowl aspirations, man. Like, if the goal in mind is to win the Super Bowl, trading that first round pick, it's most, not to say most likely, but the hope is that it'll be pick 32. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're a mid-tier team trading to go get a guy, trading your first round pick away. We're not trading away the 10th pick. You know what I'm saying? The goal is hopefully it's the 32nd, which is like, okay, you trade your first. Like you said, they may not develop immediately. It may not come around immediately. But if you can move some more pieces to get a second round, to get a pick 33, 34, 35, 36, to me, that's just the same as a first round pick. Like, to me, picks 32 through 40, that's about the same value. And that's a huge difference between the first and the second round pick.
That's Carson Schwarzenegger. That's Ladd McConkey. That's Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah.
Those are impact players picked in that range. It's just, like, I'm gonna come to regret this come next draft if, like, because with my luck, the player that I'm about to describe is gonna be an all-pro. Like, but, like, I can just totally see us, like, picking a 24 and picking a guard and, like, whoop-de-doo. But, like,
granted, we need one. We all know we need one, but
we all know we need one.
We need a Quinnen Williams, a Jeffrey Simmons, even though he's not going nowhere, a Max Crosby. Like, we need an impact player on the defensive line. Like, now. Like, not tomorrow, now. Like, he needs to be in Baltimore tonight.
Well, it can be tomorrow.
Yeah, because it's like, if you want to win a championship, man, we know it's built in trenches. You can go back. You can go back to Philly and Kansas City last year and just watch that game and watch how Philly's defensive line just completely dominated the Chiefs and just never gave Patrick Mahomes a fighting chance, like, ever. He never had a chance in that game because the defensive line was so dominant.
Yeah.
So I'd love to go see us make a trade for something defensively. If not, you know, I'd love a guard, but defensive line, defensive end. I'm all right on linebackers. I'm good. I trust that room for right now, but definitely defensive line, DN.
Agreed.
All right, we'll switch sides for a little bit. Go over to the offense before we start talking about the offense in these last couple of games. I just want to ask you, what was your view on this Todd Monken quote unquote smear campaign? Did you see all the articles kind of talking about Todd Monken and the offense struggling and guys in the locker room and this and that?
Yeah, I mean,
because my thing is just, the reason I bring it up is because, one, I felt like I never saw this happen with Greg Roman, despite the criticism from the fans. I just feel like Greg Roman's and Todd Monken is offenses level above G Rose, even though G Rose still produced results. But to see that, one, from that comparison, and then two, watch Monken be the one to take all the heat. Well, most of the heat from beat reporters, like from actual reporters during the Ravens 1-5 start, despite the defense playing the way they had been playing.
I mean, a lot of that to me is like, I just feel like Monken is the odd man out of the coaching staff, even though he's probably the best. Like, because Harbaugh is Harbaugh. We've seen Harbaugh take little to no flack until this year, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And Orr is his little pet that, I mean, it just seems like no matter what Orr does, like, he won't take criticism. He doesn't receive criticism from anyone but the fans because, I mean, this is just a Raven through and through, like, came up through the franchise, like, groomed for this position. Monken just seems like the scapegoat a lot of the times because he's the odd man out, as I described.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of viewed it as that. I didn't view a lot of truth behind it because it's like, this is the best version of Lamar we've seen. This is the best version of this offense that we've seen. So it's like, it just would suck to see Todd Monken be a scapegoat.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of, like, worst comes to worst, we miss the playoffs slightly, or we lose in the divisional or something, and Todd Monken is the one that's fired after it all. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
Like, come on. Like, me, I really took a problem with it because, like you said, like, this is the best version of Lamar Jackson we've ever seen. Like, his first year in Todd Monken's offense won an MVP. His second year in the offense was even better than the first MVP season, and arguably should have won the MVP. If you ask most people in the world, Lamar Jackson was the MVP last year, right? So he should have won back-to-back MVP in Todd Monken's offense. He starts this year off with a 10-to-1 interception ratio before getting hurt, on a pace to 50 passing touchdowns. He's now sitting at 14-1 with a 136 passer rating and a 73% completion percentage, which is the highest of his career, right? So it was just like where did this come from? You know, like, just because Lamar's been out a couple weeks and the offense kind of got stagnant, like, how does all this blame fall on Monken? Like, Monken didn't make the decision to bring in Cooper Rush. That was a front office. That was a EDC and John Harbaugh decision. Why is Monken getting the smear campaign? It just really made no sense to me. Like, the only reason that people have confidence in the Ravens possibly turn around this 3-5 or this 1-5 start, the reason we are Super Bowl favorites is because of our offense. Like, it hasn't been the defense since Mac left, right? These last 2 years, it's been Lamar completely carrying the defense. So it was just like it felt like anger, misplaced anger, I guess is the way to put it. And I really didn't appreciate that from Ravens reporters to go after Monken of all people.
I agree.
And I just wanted to get your thoughts on that real quick.
Yeah. No, I think it's a lot to do with, like, the culture and how, like, strong the actual franchise, and, like, I just think he's the odd man out.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think that's true. I think that he's the only one that's not to say not homegrown, but he came from college, he came from UGA. Everybody else is homegrown. You know, the Ravens like to pass guys back and forth between the Harbaugh brothers. So, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Well, speaking of Monken in this offense, I kind of want to talk about this upcoming schedule and just kind of pick your brain a little bit about what you're expecting to see from the offense within these next couple of weeks. So next up, we have Minnesota at Minnesota, 4-14. We go to Cleveland, 2-6. We have the New York Jets, 1-7 at home, and then Cincinnati at home, 3-6 for Thanksgiving. Right? What are you looking for in this offense? Who are you looking for to get into a rhythm? Because like Rashad Bateman has kind of been non-existent. Likely he's just getting back into the swing of things. Pat Ricard, this is week 3. This is Lamar Jackson's second consecutive week back. what do you like? What keys are you looking for to be like, okay, like this Ravens offense is back. Like this is an offense to fear.
I think I really expect to see with the return of Ricard that this run game will really get going.
I agree.
I think we'll return to how it was last year, how it was in some of those MVP campaigns where we were averaging like 200 yards a game. I mean, we kind of saw this in the Dolphins game with Ricard coming back. Derrick Henry finally started popping off some large runs.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think that we're really going to see Derrick Henry start to get 100-yard games, 150-yard games, like with Lamar with some good rushing numbers coming back from that hamstring.
Yeah.
I just think the run married with how good of a passer Lamar has been could take this offense to another level, which it's already been one of the better offenses with Lamar on the field, but we haven't really seen the run game be such a large part of that.
I agree. Yeah, so I definitely think a healthy Pat Ricard and that run game getting going would be a good sign of that offense getting back. I wanted
Shout out Pat Ricard, bro. He's so good.
Yeah. I will say though, I hate to say this, I hate to smear my mans like this, but I did see him. Did you see him get worked out there by Jalen Phillips? Yeah, that was that to me that was like a wake up call for me. Like that, I was like, oh, like Pat Ricard is human. Like that was kind of like one of those for me. Like kind of remembering that. But yeah, him getting back definitely helping out the run game. That'll be huge. Because 5 of our last 8 games of the season are against AFC North opponents. And we're currently, I think, a game and a half back of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are currently sitting at 5-3. We're sitting at 3-5. That run game is going to be important to finish the season out. Playing those divisional matchups, guys, you gotta see twice a year. That's important.
In the cold.
Yeah, in the cold. On top of that, right? So if the Ravens, can get through these next 4, so there's Minnesota, Cleveland, New York, Cincinnati. How confident are you in the Ravens finishing out strong with those 5 out of last 8 being AFC North opponent games? Especially having to see Pittsburgh twice so close to each other, so close to the end of the year.
I really don't see a team that we aren't favored in for the rest of the season. I don't really see a game where I don't really expect us to win. Where I don't expect us to win easily.
Mm-hmm. Now, is this is just about the AFC North opponents, or is this including Green Bay and New England in that?
Including those teams.
Yeah.
Like, I know we gassed up this team a lot before the season. 15-2 record predictions, 14-3, all that type of stuff. But like, this was before some defensive struggles. I think the Patriots are the toughest team left on the schedule.
100%.
And we really haven't even seen the Patriots play anyone legit yet, besides the Bills.
Yeah. And even them, we were up 15 on them. Like the Patriots beat the Bills, and then we were up 15 on the Bills. We just let the game get away from us.
Unless we beat ourselves in typical Ravens fashion, I don't really see a loss on the rest of the schedule. Honestly,
I'm right there with you.
But that's just, I said in typical Ravens fashion for a reason. Like I could see it. Yeah. I could see us blowing it against Joe and the Bengals, honestly. Like, just getting outraced. Like, but I don't expect it. I really don't expect it. That's not me saying, like, oh, mark your calendars. The Bengals might actually do something against us, but, like, I expect us to take care of business the rest of the season. Pretty easily. One more thing I wanted to ask you about this offense going into this last stretch of AFC North games. Do you expect, if the Ravens don't go make a trade for an offensive lineman, do you expect the unit to play a little bit better? with some gelling and with Ricard coming back, or you think those two guard spots are going to continue to be issues for us through the rest of the season?
I will say I do think it takes some time with an offensive line. With both of us being former offensive linemen, you know how much chemistry it takes to trust the guys out there. So I do think they will improve a little bit. I do still think it'll be a problem, like within the same sentence. I think two things can be true at once in that. I think Patrick Ricard, just like Kyle Hamilton is flex seal for the defense, I think Patrick Ricard is our flex seal for the offense. I think having another 300-pound offensive lineman out there as your fullback, tight end, I think that helps a lot. So I do think the group will improve. It's just not going to be where we want it to be. I think we're still going to be on Twitter every week calling for Fale's head. Lamar will still be dropping back 9, 11 yards in his pass drops because he doesn't trust the O-line. But to me, it's really if our tackles can hold it down, then I feel a little more confident because one of the guards can get help. You know, Tyler Linderbaum can help one of the guards. If Rosengarten and Stanley do their things, that's only one guard we got to worry about. And at that point, keep Pat Ricard in there for some extra protection. Let Lamar use his legs. And I think we'll be all right. Obviously, our biggest test to me would be Pittsburgh. And then after that, Green Bay, seeing how we hold up against that D-line. I think if we can hold our own in those two games, I think there's some hope going into January, truth be told.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking of January, I feel like there's only one answer, but is our most likely route to the playoffs is to win the division, or do you think there's any possible where we don't, beat Pittsburgh twice like we're supposed to? Do you think that we can sneak into that wild card? I think who are the teams wild card? It would be
I would
Buffalo.
say yes, that's our most likely route to the playoffs. But if we drop one to Pittsburgh, I could still see us winning the division or being a wild card team. I expect us to have 1 or 2 more losses the rest of the season, which would put us at 10-7 or 11-5.
So in your mind, and I'm the same way, but in your mind, there's no way the Ravens miss the playoffs.
Yeah,
despite a 1-5 start.
I feel pretty confident in that.
I'm right there with you.
Especially with the way the defense has been able to turn it around. I really expect to be 6-5 as soon as you can be 6-5. What is that? 3 weeks from now, I expect to be 6-5.
Yeah, that would be beating Minnesota, beating Cleveland, and beating New York would put you at 6-5.
Yeah, and then you're feeling really confident about it. But yeah, I do expect to lose 1 to 2 more games. I think it's possible we could win out too.
Yeah.
And in that case, are we talking about Lamar MVP?
That's a great question, Poppy. I truly wonder how that narrative will go as we reach towards the end of the season.
It's the same thing as Josh Allen last year.
I'm right there with you, but they 5 losses. You never know with them, bro. You never know with them. But technically, Lamar would only have 3 losses because 2 of the losses weren't on him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's definitely possible. I think nobody's really pulling away with the MVP race right now. No offense to bro, but I think Jonathan Taylor being in the MVP conversation tells you all you need to know about the MVP conversation right now.
Exactly.
Josh Allen isn't pulling away.
Or Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, like Pat Mahomes isn't pulling away with it. Baker Mayfield isn't pulling away with it. Nobody's pulling away with the MVP. I think Lamar is still right there in the company.
We just saw Josh Allen lose a couple times, and we saw Mahomes and what's his face have terrible games this weekend. Daniel Jones and Mahomes both.
Mahomes went under 50% for the first time in forever.
He went 15 of 33 or 34.
Yeah, I think it was 34, 15 of 34.
Yeah, that's going to crush your MVP chances.
Well, that's what I thought last year when Josh went and threw 33%, completed 33% of his passes against the Texans.
Yeah.
And then absolutely got whooped by us the week before, but I guess not.
I know. I feel like it matters way more for Daniel Jones that he had that game than Mahomes having that game, because Mahomes is going to have a narrative, and
yeah.
I'm sure one bad game for Mahomes is not going to matter as much as it will for the Daniel Jones MVP conversation. But
Definitely. All right, a couple last things before we get out of here. Is there anybody in your mind left in Baltimore who is a potential trade candidate? The Ravens already traded Alohi-Oweh.
we're selling?
Yeah, we're selling. They already traded Jair Alexander. Is there anybody else in your mind who potentially could be on the trade block?
Just Mark Andrews. That's been a talking point for months now, but I don't think we should unless it's part of a package.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we're talking about Lamar or Mark last year where it was struggles early on. Like, he's playing good football this year, but he's expendable because so are the other two tight ends.
Yeah.
So I think that's really the only guy they would consider moving. I mean, that's it. Yeah. That's really it.
Yeah, I would say Mark Andrews came to mind for me, and the one name on top of it is just Justice Hill. I know the Ravens love Justice Hill, obviously, but it's like when you have Derrick Henry, you have a lightning in a bottle of Keaton Mitchell. I think that makes Justice Hill a little more expendable. I don't think there's anybody else really. I think the Ravens love the value on Rashad Bateman's contract, even though his slow start. So, to me, I kind of thought about that being a possible trade, but I think at $5 million a year for your wide receiver too, I don't think you can really pass up on that money.
Yeah.
Because to me, it was just thinking about all guys possibly that need contract extensions. Isaiah Likely also still needs one. Marlon Humphrey still needs one. Linderbaum still needs his extension. And Lamar obviously is coming up. So I was just thinking about, possibly clearing cap space for the next couple of years if there's anybody that might want to move on from.
Sneaky Marlowe.
I was thinking about that too.
Sneaky Marlowe. Because he's kind of been struggling this year, and he comes with a high cap hit. So,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like he's the most expendable of the big money guys.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. And maybe Stanley. I don't know. Maybe Emory Jones got it. Maybe Rosengarten moves left tackle. Who knows? Just throwing things out there.
He didn't even look me in the eyes after you said it.
just throwing names out there. All right, what else we got? All right, these last couple things. I just want to say, Ravens fans, Derrick Henry and Zay Flowers are both still on pace for over 1,000 yards. Despite the struggles from the season. Still a 1,000-yard rusher, 1,000-yard receiver in the bag, possibly. Also want to say shout out to Jordan Stout. I was kind of iffy on him to start his career, but this year, his pun has been unbelievable. His pin guys within the 10 more times than I can count right now. So just keep doing your thing. Shout out to bro. And the biggest shout out, the man who saved our season, whether people realize it or not. Tyler Snoop Huntley. Shout out to the dog. Against the Chicago Bears, he went 17 of 22. He started the game off, I think, 9 for 9, 10 for 10, something like that. But finished at 17 for 22, 239 total yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. The Ravens put up 30 points, probably in the first time ever without Lamar Jackson playing, starting at quarterback. You don't have to go too much into it because obviously that game was a couple weeks ago. But is there anything you want to say about that Snoop Huntley performance? A legacy game from him that completely saved our season.
I think that we all hyped up Cooper Rush for being a good backup with Dallas. And just the fact that Lamar has been running more of a pro-style offense with Monken, and kind of thinking that Cooper Rush could now come in and be able to run it a little better than if Greg Roman was running the show.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now looking at it, it just never really made sense because Snoop just can offer so much more. When you're trying to get points with a backup quarterback, like, you want every avenue possible to get those points. So when you have a quarterback that is mobile, that's so much more for a defense to have to handle than a backup, like, stand in the pocket passer. Like,
Yeah.
it just, when you saw, now that we've seen both scenarios play out with Snoop and with Cooper Rush, it just makes so much sense. Like, it never really made sense to go with Cooper Rush, even if he had come in and, like, put up more points and not played so horribly.
Mm-hmm.
Because he played way worse than I was expecting him to.
Way worse.
I just think that Snoop always just made more sense because of what he brings to the table, on top of just being a passer.
Yeah.
But I think this is probably Snoop's best performance ever.
100%.
I mean, he went above and beyond what... I mean, Coop was way below where I thought... what I thought he was going to bring to the table. And Snoop brought way more than I've ever seen him bring to the table.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Snoop completely balled out. Snoop looked like a guy who hadn't been a starting quarterback in a while, and I don't mean that in the sense of like he was rusty. I mean that in the sense of like he was hungry. I haven't had this opportunity in a while. Like, I only got a half when I played for the Browns in preseason, or not even a half, like a 2-minute drill. Like, I didn't get much time and opportunity, and he really looked like a guy who put it all on the line out there. And I just love seeing that from him. And you can tell he laid it out all out on the line because the team went and followed and did that behind him. I don't know if that makes sense to people listening, but like, dog,
makes sense to me.
When your quarterback got that look in his eye, that twitch, that I'm hungry, we got to go get this. Oh yeah, the dog's gonna ride behind him. And the dog's definitely ride behind him. I think just having a guy people are familiar with in the locker room. Having another Florida guy in the locker room, having a guy, that's been with us for multiple years, has been behind Lamar, is best friends with Lamar, grew up together. I think we kind of overlooked that aspect of, like, when we bring in Cooper Rush, like how much Snoop Huntley really, like, meant to this team. You could really see the guys rally behind him. And too, like you were saying about the pro style offense, I think we also, I guess it would be underestimated. Like, I think we just kind of forgot because of how good Lamar is as a passer. That, like, oh yeah, like, he does still have legs. Like the defense remembers that every play. We may have forgot that as fans are like, oh yeah, Coop can complain this pro style offense, but like, the defense is back there. Like, okay, like, we're playing defense, yes, we're covering, but like, Lamar can always take off with his legs. And like you said, when Cooper Rush got onto the field, that threat just completely disappeared and made the offense one dimensional. And it's just like, I hate that we dropped those games because we were playing Cooper Rush. I think if we play Tyler Huntley against the Texans, I don't care what anybody tells me, we're winning that game. Did we beat LA? Probably not. But even when he played LA, he didn't play LA. It was Green Bay. It's Green Bay, the game I'm thinking of. He went toe to toe with Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay. Like, I think Aaron Rodgers was still there at the time.
Yeah,
but like, Snoop has come to play. I kind of went on a little rant there, but I just love seeing that from him. Thank you for saving our season, big dog. Shout out 5 Snoop Huntley. Might have to go get the jersey, man, because we dropped the 1-6. It's probably over. But he definitely saved our ass there. And I just want to wrap up with this last little thought, I guess. The Ravens will likely make the playoffs, right? Even after starting 1-5, we'll most likely get there. John Harbaugh just got an extension last offseason. The fans have wanted his head all season. I don't know about you. Actually, I do know about you. I know you still want his head. I still want his head. The Ravens go to the playoffs, right? Is there anything that the Ravens can do post-playoffs that changes your mind from firing Harbaugh? Because to me, it's like, even if we still win the championship, I still kind of want to move on. So is a championship enough for you to be like, all right, give me Harbaugh again, or are you ready to move on?
If we hoisted the Lombardi, I'd be content to run it back with Harbaugh. Because I do think he does bring a value of getting this team to the playoffs. I mean, Lamar gets this team to the playoffs. But he has offered some consistency for 18 years. It's a really tough question, man. I feel like all sins are forgiven if Lamar is hoisting a Lombardi, honestly.
Yeah. And it's hard to argue with that. It truly is. Because that's the goal. That's the end goal. That's the only thing you play football for is to host that Lombardi.
Yeah.
I think I'm still kind of team fire Harbaugh, even if he gets it done. I know it sounds crazy, but it's kind of like I feel like us. If we got to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl this year, I feel like it's in spite of Harbaugh. Like, despite John Harbaugh, despite the coaching malpractice, despite this, despite that, the Ravens still found a way to win the Super Bowl. And it's like stories, the way it sounds is like that's kind of how it went in 2012. Despite John Harbaugh, the Ravens still won the Super Bowl. And I've been saying it for 8 years. I'm tired of watching them waste Lamar's career. And I don't think a Super Bowl could take me off of that feeling. I would love EDC to stay. I would love Monken to stay. Potentially finding DC. Like, I don't think the whole infrastructure has to go, but I do think John Harbaugh. I think I still would like to see him go.
I mean, it's a very what if question, but I mean, it's just a tough thing to answer because Super Bowls are so hard to come by in this sport.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have everything go right. But it's beyond frustrating to watch the best quarterback in the world be held back by things that are out of his control.
Yeah, like taking the man so many years to get him efficient weapons, like good enough weapons. Like watching him out there play with Deshaun Jackson and Nelson Aguilar and
Odell.
Des Bryant and Odell 10 years past his prime. It took too long. It took too long to get to this point with this offense, with this offensive coordinator. I never forget that Todd Monken was just in disbelief that Lamar couldn't check plays at the line of scrimmage. For the first, year 8 for Lamar? So, for the first 5 years of his career, man, an MVP quarterback could not check plays at the line of scrimmage. Could you imagine Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes playing with that type of handicap, playing with one hand time behind their back for the first 5 years of their season?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's things like that. Like, it just took too long to see the evolution of this offense, and I put that on the head coach. So, definitely still fire Harbs, but I don't want to get him. He's winning games right now, so let's keep it positive. Let's keep it going, keep it moving, and hopefully we can go get a dub this week, shock the world, and just keep doing it game by game, one step at a time.
And I expect to.
Yeah, I don't. There's no other option. Back against the wall, with 8 back, dude. I'm sorry. Before we close this up, dog. My morale, like just going on my feed and just seeing Lamar Jackson content, man. It's been so nice. It's been so nice.
So
dog.
nice.
It felt like the world was crumbling around me. The sky was falling. But just to after the game on Thursday, man, just scrolling on my Instagram. Just Lamar. Lamar is the first guy in so many years to do this. Lamar is the first to do this. Lamar is the first ever to do this. Lamar is the highest. It was just so much Lamar, and it felt so good to see him back. I wish he was playing all season so he could have went and broke some records, because I definitely think he was getting 50 passing touchdowns this year. I don't think anybody could tell me differently. And hopefully that.
We're gonna see what happens. I mean, he's past MVP, fat Josh. Sorry, shouldn't have called him fat. That was mean.
All right, I keep saying the last thing, but this is actually the last thing before we get up out of there. Lamar is currently at 14 touchdowns, 1 interception, going into
15. Oh, you're right.
15
you're
total,
right.
14 passing, 1 interception. Right. So 14-1 going into week 10. At week 17, the end of week 18, right? When the season's over, what do you have his numbers looking like?
Probably just pure passing.
Yeah, just pure passing. Just to passing touchdowns to interceptions.
Probably like 38-4.
I like that. I was thinking 36 to 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, I mean, we're playing a lot of doo-doo teams.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Bengals defense twice. We got the Jets defense. We got the Steelers defense, which until yesterday
It was garbage.
was garbage. So I don't know. Could be fireworks.
How many Jackson 5s do you think he got in him?
2.
All right. I'll take that. All right. Well, let's get out of here. We'll see how this season finishes up. Obviously, we'll be back with y'all next week.
Save us, Lamar.
Yes, Lamar, please save us again. We'll be back on this, getting episodes out to y'all, getting content out. The morale is back. We're smiling again. Obviously, we know you can't see because we're listening. But this was a fun episode. We got to talk football.
Yeah,
it's
good to be back.
Enjoying it again. So appreciate y'all, sticking with us. And we'll see you back here soon.
Oh, yeah.
Peace.
Peace.